so I needed to exercise those options no matter what. And I was like, okay, I'll move forward and exercise those options. So that certainly would be part of it no matter what. But then over and above that, I sold incremental stock to try to get up to the 10% level. So
I love that one.
market's 10%. So I sold stock that should be roughly make my total Tesla share sale roughly 10%.
Is the most annoying thing in the world people asking you questions like this about your personal finances. And no one ever asks me what stock I'm selling or why I made so much money last year.
Oh my God, this is so bad.
On my street, which is
This is so bad.
pretty good.
I mean, I'm not sure it's all that productive or interesting. You know, essentially all of my net worth is just in SpaceX and Tesla stock. With these two companies
Holy
that
shit.
I've created and have run for now almost 20 years, have done a lot of useful things. SpaceX is the launches more payload to orbit than the rest of the world combined, and has a global internet system called Starlink, and is the primary provider, well, the only U.S. provider of astronaut transport to the space station.
We publish 6 to 8 satire articles a day.
Some of them are funny. I mean, pretty good.
So SpaceX, it transports U.S. And as well as non-U.S. Astronauts to the space station. That was previously the U.S. was dependent on Russia, who was doing a good job but charging kind of crazy money per seat. So as far, with SpaceX, the cost per astronaut dropped dramatically, and the money was went to jobs in the U.S. So that's why I feel think SpaceX is valuable. Tesla.
I mean the annoyance though of like people holding it against you that you've had success, holding it against you that you have wealth, viewing billionaires as evil and you're not doing enough to give back. You have like the Elizabeth Warren thing that you haven't paid your fair share. I mean that's that's got to be kind of aggravating.
Yeah, I think it's just important to understand like what is this wealth? It's not like I've got like some massive cash balance. My cash balances are very, very low. I mean,
Unbelievable how they do this game. This is fucking unreal. So again, what he's doing is he's giving you all CGI imagery, even the rockets landing back on Earth and all the bullshit stories. None of it makes sense. Even to your physics, it doesn't even make sense. Using your own math and physics, it does not work. And then now here they are. I'm glad I came upon this. Now this is exactly what I thought they were going to do, and that's what they're doing. The telescopes towards the night sky in order to track the roadster. So how this is even easier to CGI than anything, right? But now we're being told that government telescopes and all these telescopes are tracking it. It's so full of shit. So full of shit. Millions of things I can prove wrong with this, but anybody can. All of you can. Critical thinking, right? And not even that much of critical thinking. Everything from the size of the light that they're showing you. Now, these are all supposed to be stars that are supposed to be billions of light years away, and all millions and billions of light years away, depending on which stars they are. And then they're giving you this streak of light coming through the sky that's supposedly a Tesla car going through the sky. Does the Tesla? I missed that part where the Tesla car had lights all over the outside of it. Let me go back. Maybe I missed something. No, I don't see any lights. So did the Tesla car turn its headlights on from 150,000 miles away? Do they have side lights on it? Do the tires light up? Does any of this light up so that we could see it from the ground or from a telescope like they're claiming? Or would it just match the darkness of what they are claiming is outer space? Let's see. No, I still don't see any lights. His brake lights are out too, and his tail lights. But somehow, magically, you're able to see this car with no lights. You're able to somehow, it shines down to earth so that, let's get back to it, So that over here with this beautiful telescope, we now, oh, there he is. Oh, look at that. Look at that, huh? Wow. And look at all the scientists. Look at how smart they are. They're real smart. They must be smart because we paid billions of dollars a year for their intelligence. So they must be smart. They would never send us in the wrong direction. That would be like saying that teachers lie to their students and teach them false history and false math, right? Could not possibly happen. Unbelievable.
So tax shelters. Uh, I have basically Tesla and SpaceX stock, and Tesla is publicly traded, so all information is public, and SpaceX is, a C corp that is audited, that has outside auditors. So with outside investors. So it is. Everything is extremely transparent. There are no elaborate sort of tax avoidance schemes or anything like that. So H&R Block could easily do my taxes. I don't need H&R Block. I can do it.
Yeah.
I'd probably take me a few hours to do my taxes. It's very basic.
Did you sell that stock in Tesla because of the Twitter poll?
In part.
Had you made up your mind that you were already going to do that before?
Right. So here we go again with the telescopes, right? The telescopes and oh, this is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Why do they have a camera here to look at that satellite with the telescope on it, if that's what it is? Why do they always do that? They always want to prove to you, the people of the earth, I guess, that this is their evidence, and their evidence sucks. Their evidence is not something you should have been taken seriously ever, because whenever you see a satellite thousands of feet, hundreds of feet away from another satellite, just so that this satellite sent up, just so that it can take a picture of that satellite, just so we can have a video of that satellite. Now, I know, again, they're going to say, oh, well, yeah, you're looking at, so of course it's computer generated. We don't actually have actual footage. Well, why? Why don't you have actual footage? When you show us the footage of the Earth that you're telling us is a big ball, and you tell us these are the real videos of the Earth and everything, those are obviously all fucking CGI'd as well. Oh, yeah, well, they have to be because we can't really pull out far enough to get the whole entire Earth in there. Well, why not? When you supposedly did your moon landing, you didn't seem to have a problem with taking a picture of the Earth because, as a matter of fact, the scales didn't even match up when you did your moon landing bullshit. So when you did the moon landing nonsense, you were able to fool everybody. The zombies all accepted your lies, and then they lived the next 50, 60 years after that so far. Whatever it was, 69 or whatever. So 50 years after that, they were still pouring money into your fake ass space system. So is that it? Are they so worried that everybody will wake up and find out that they had to go put in sabotage groups that they could easily control? Like, for example, the flat earthers. So they put in this ridiculous, nonsensical story of the flat earth and put that back out. Now, who came out with the flat earth concept, right? Who came out with that, Candace? I'm talking to you, Candace. Who was the first one in public to announce the flat earth concept or the flat earth, right? Who? Candace, you know. It was President Obama. President Obama, 3 times in different speeches, different lectures, he would end the speech. One of the most famous ones was, "We don't have time for a meeting with the Flat Earth Society." That was one of the most famous. And as soon as people heard that, their ears perked up and their eyes went white. Certain people, 800,000 of us, because I was one of them. And I said, you know what? If the President of the United States is saying that, there might be something to this. Whether he's in denial of it or not or whatever, there was always something wrong with this bullshit story about the outer space stuff going on. So everybody then went in and looked at it. Some people did. And then, of course, it was divide because you had 7.8 billion who believed they lived on a spinning wet pear rocket ball. And then you only had about 800,000 that were starting to awaken to the idea that we were not living on a spinning wet pear rocket ball at all. Unfortunately, they got taken down. The other psyops they were not that old as psyops. Those psyops were not as old as you think. We were, it's easy for them to make false history. We can all see just in 4 or 5 years at a time, we can see how the false histories are created. And this was another one. And after the collapse, whoever hits the next reset, I still don't know. Do humans hit their own reset button now? That might be the case. Or is it the false creator that hits the resets? We know it's not the true creator is not going to hit any reset button because the true creator does not care about the biosystem. He only cares about the energy. And if we were to all disappear tomorrow, the true creator wouldn't give a shit either way. He doesn't care. And neither do his builders, and neither do the images that he builds. Also do not care. It's the false creator's work that would care. Now, does the false creator care if everything went to shit and got torn? I don't think so either, because he would just rebuild again. He would just rebuild everything. And then the human construct and the human influence of it all. Do we care? Well, we might if we would actually open our eyes and think for ourselves and look around and see things for what they are, but we don't do that. We look into books, computer screens. We look to our parents to lie to us and keep us convinced of all the lies. We look to our family and friends to boast our egos and continue the lies. It's pretty fucking sad. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So whoever sets the reset, I'm guessing so far that I'm going to find human resets, and it's going to end up being the humans, because it seems to be that's kind of what's going on right now. We're heading towards a reset. It's not going to happen anytime soon. It looks like it's probably going to be like 1,000 years or more off before they hit that reset again. But what Elon Musk was just talking about the population, needing to have more people and stuff. Then you listen to governments and they'll say, oh no, we're overpopulated. Point is that we have all this land, the earth to live on, and it should be free. We should have human rights as free human beings. Everyone, every country, everywhere should be that way. But we don't. And then we rank out the communist countries and say that they're making their people live in closets and tiny, well, welcome to the tiny house, all right? I mean, the tiny house is a good example of how bad we've done that to ourselves, even here in America, is what I'm saying. So majority of people, even if they have money, are thinking now about saving the earth. They're saving the earth because they think the earth is a spinning wet pear rocket ball, and they think that space aliens can come in at any time, or they might think that we live in a hologram created by space aliens, or they think that God was created by space aliens. They think that God himself is a space alien. All these different egotistical, narcissistic programs that we've all endured over the years for hundreds, thousands of years. And then we just get new religions every time, things that cannot be proven, things that cannot be seen. The technology goes backwards, gets worse and worse and worse. It's really garbage. And everybody thinks that this is going forward, and we pat ourselves on the back. Oh, we've come so far. No, we're not going anywhere, man. We're going fucking backwards. I'm trying to show you guys the real system. No one wants to look.
Before the Twitter poll?
I have some Tesla options that are expiring next year. So I need to exercise those options no matter what. And I was like, okay, I'll move forward and exercise those options. So that certainly would be part of it no matter what. But then over and above that, I sold incremental stock to try to get up to the 10% level. So just the option exercise alone were not just.
Now, if I thought any of this was anything other than CGI, garbage, computer-generated television movie bullshit, then I could certainly take you in on what they're calling Mars, and I could bring you in on everything and show you the imagery in there. But that would be useless. It would be defeating the purpose of what I'm trying to do, because this is all human influence. This is not even the true creators' work or the false creators' work. This is just human influence. Somebody making things on a computer, even if they made a model of it and then filmed the model. Either way, same point. I gotta plug this in. Battery's dying.
It's 10%. So I sold stock that should be roughly make my total Tesla share sale roughly 10%.
There it goes. Look at
Is
it.
the most
Wow.
annoying thing in the world people asking you questions like this about your personal finances?
Yeah, my telescope gets more realistic shit than this. That's supposed to be the Earth over there and everything. I mean, it's fucking. This is silly, man. This is really silly.
Which is
It's fucking. I can't even watch it anymore. I gotta get.
I mean,
I'm gonna go
sure
find
it's
something else to look at.
SpaceX is the launches more payload to orbit than the rest of the world combined, and has a global internet system called Starlink, and is the primary provider, the only U.S. provider of astronaut transport to the space station.
So now here we are back to some reality. Here's the real clouds that you can all see outside your own house with your own eyes. Go do your videos of the clouds, the trees, the rocks, the stones, the moon. Do your own videos, and then go use your camera as a viewing device to go watch your own videos back. You're gonna see the same exact thing that I'm showing you here in every one of them.
Doing a good job, but
Feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, from the veil to the ground. Get to know the true creator.
With SpaceX, the cost per astronaut dropped dramatically, and the money was went to jobs in the U.S. So that's why I feel think SpaceX is valuable. Tesla.
I mean, the annoyance though of like people holding it against you that you've had success, holding it against you that you have wealth, viewing billionaires as evil, and you're not doing enough to give back. You have like the Elizabeth Warren thing that you haven't paid your fair share. I mean, that's got to be kind of
Not paying your fair share. He's a billionaire because we made him a billionaire. He didn't know. You listen to the fucking guy talk. This guy Elon Musk don't know shit. He fucking don't know shit. I mean, I've been listening to him talk for 3 days now. I don't see anything impressive about this fucking guy. Well, because he says megatons and mega millions, and I don't understand where you guys are getting this intelligence thing from that he's so fucking smart. Because I've been hearing about him for years. But they do this with everybody. They put them up on these pedestals, make them millionaire, trillionaires, and billionaires. They're already set in place by the controllers, and the programmers all program everybody to think that these people are something special. There's nothing special about them. What? Because they're good liars? Everybody's a good liar. They're all lying motherfuckers. So what's the big deal about having him as a liar? Obviously, there's some blood relation. Maybe he does not possess a mirror neuron. The most likely, I bet you if we tested any of these multi-millionaires and billionaires, most likely, especially the ones at the top of the chain, most of them are not going to possess a mirror neuron. They're all going to be what you would consider psychopaths because they don't give a fuck about anybody, even including themselves. Which I'm not claiming is a bad thing. I don't even know that that's a bad thing.
Like, what is this wealth? It's not like I've got like some massive cash balance. My cash balances are very, very low, and at least until I sold stock, which is really the first time I've actually sold stock in any meaningful way, was this quarter. I simply had loans against my stock, so if Tesla and SpaceX went bankrupt, I would go bankrupt too immediately. So.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Many times you'll go bankrupt before your life is over.
Both these two companies, and it was extremely difficult to build them. Like massively painful and difficult. Rewarding too, but also but massively painful and difficult. And I didn't sell the stock in the companies. My sort of impression was that you shouldn't take money off the table, or you shouldn't take stock off the table and de-risk things. That a captain should go down, with their ship. So it's like, okay, like I don't want to take money off the table and then companies fail, then I'll be sort of enriched while investors suffer, and that does not seem right. So anyway, that's the reason I didn't sell. Is I could easily have diversified and protected myself financially if SpaceX or Tesla went bankrupt, but I did not. And SpaceX and Tesla came very close to bankruptcy.
SpaceX can go bankrupt whenever they tell you go bankrupt. You're totally funded by the 380 million zombies that are funding you. They pay their taxes, and the taxes money a good portion of it goes to NASA and to you for your fake ass space launches. It's very simple. And if you want to file bankruptcy, then join the fucking club. So does everybody other millionaire and billionaire. It's not a big deal. So I don't, you guys are making a big deal out of this now too.
See many times, even when bankruptcy was literally weeks away, I did not sell stock. And then the companies became valuable. Not Tesla's value and SpaceX's value is not up to me. It's up to investors. And they decided it was Tesla was worth $1 trillion in the public market. So, and I own 20% of the company. So
you're not apologizing right now. You're not going to look into the camera and say, "I'm so sorry."
Look in the camera right now.
I'm just trying to explain. Like, I don't think people necessarily understand.
They don't. Yeah.
That this is not, some function of some hoarding or something. It's simply that, I own 20% of the company that became very valuable as decided by external investors, and so 20% of $1 trillion valuation is $200 billion. And I've said at various times that I think the stock price is too high, but the investors just ignored that. I'm like, okay, I literally said it was too high, and they just kept making that price higher. So I'm like,
Tell them our value is too high.
So anyway, so it's just but like I said, this is not like my so-called wealth. It's not some deep mystery. It's simply what is my ownership percentage of SpaceX and Tesla. Multiply that by the valuation. That's my net worth. It's super simple, and my taxes are super simple. And I have no, like I said, no offshore accounts, no sort of clever tax evasion or anything like that. And I don't draw a salary or any cash salary or bonus from the companies at all. So. Again, I thought that was like morally good to not do that, and so there were like there was 1 year, I think 2018, where I didn't pay any tax, but that's because I didn't have any income, but I did have a little bit of income, but I actually overpaid taxes, I think, in 2017, so I paid too much tax.
Yeah, you are so full of shit, man. 2018, we were just on your video of your fake ass Tesla car going into outer space. You just said you spent $90 million that year. So you see, Candace, how tax write-offs work, right? You see how you can say that he got all the money over here and then he paid it all in taxes and everything, but really he didn't because he had tax write-offs. If you spend $90 million or $900 million, whatever he's claiming, that he spent on this fake-ass Tesla car in outer space, seeing that all the CGI work that was done, all the computer-generated work, even setting up fake rockets on a landing post so that you could have a small crowd to witness this rocket launch into the air. That's part of the facade, too, so they could have set that up. They're never going to have anybody around when the rocket backs back down to Earth, because that's like the stupidest fucking thing. And there's no way to do that in front of an audience of people. So that only way they can do that is CGI it. Because it's a rocket. It's a big fucking penis that you think's going to turn around and land back down like it's a fucking helicopter. I mean, you people really don't have any idea of common sense. It's not even physics. It's beyond physics. It's fucking common sense. You can do your own experiments yourself and realize that this is really nonsense. And then they give this little tiny Christmas tree stand that the rocket lands on. It's fucking stupid as shit. But yet he's gonna complain about, oh yeah, I don't even think I did anything for taxes in 2018. Well, that was what we were just looking at, 2018, when you did your fake ass launch. So we know you had plenty of tax write-offs for that year. So maybe that's the reason why you didn't have to.
And so I got like I basically netted that out in 2018 because I paid too much tax in 2017, but accidentally. Unless you sell stock, there are no realized
Fucking
gains.
unbelievable that anybody believes this
So I
shit.
was like, well, should I sell? Like, what am I supposed to do? Wire send shares to the government somehow? I don't know if you can even do that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, like, unless I sell shares, there's no actual mechanism to pay tax. So then I was like, well, should I sell 10%? In order to pay tax? And I sort of asked Twitter, and they're like, on balance, they said yes, and so I sold enough stock to get to around 10% plus the option exercise stuff, and I try to be extremely literal, so that you don't generally need to read between the lines. You can just read the lines. So that's it.
As the fattest guy here, I want to know when are you gonna make the candy company? You said on Twitter you're making a candy company. And you're the closest thing to Willy Wonka that this culture
Yeah,
has.
you can be Willy Wonka.
I didn't say.
You
When did
want-
he say that?
He said,
Is
I'm
that what
starting a
you
candy
Well,
company, it's going
I
to
was
be
making fun of
amazing.
Warren Buffett.
But you did say I am super, super serious. That's super. We've got
I think if you put two supers before serious,
that makes it
then
not
that's
serious.
like probably not serious, just FYI for satire writers out there.
Yeah.
I thought that locked it in. It's like definitely serious.
He's explaining jokes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just guys. Let me tell you how jokes satire works. I was just obviously, I was just like making fun of Warren Buffett, who's like really, he's got this like candy company and stuff. So,
That was my one question.
I did actually experiment with trying to find some compelling candy that would be like, I don't know, maybe much better than other candy. We tried various candy options, but I didn't find it. I couldn't figure out a candy that was like just way better than other candy. Like a little bit better, but not a lot better. And so I was like, unless it's like really a great product, then
You looked into this. You like really looked into it.
yeah, did.
The lab.
Oh.
Yeah,
Have Oompas.
we tried a whole bunch of different candies, and it was like, there's not anything like that's obviously just way better. So I don't want to just.
So you can tell that he's lying because he has no exact information. He has no real memory of anything. So in other words, he's not saying, "Oh well, I tried these a lot of different candies." He's saying he's leaving the door wide open. He's nothing specific. Oh well, remember these old sucker candies that we used to have, and they stopped making them, and I thought maybe I could make one better, so I tried such and this and that, but it didn't come out as good. And he doesn't even have no information behind it. He's full of shit. He's all obvious lies. Like I said, this is almost like listening to Joe Rogan. Just fucking people that are just so full of shit about everything out of his fucking mouth. Oh yeah, well, if you say really, really before, then that means you're not really gonna do it. That's a sign. I mean, this is a conversation. These people are supposed to be intelligent, and it's just like fucking listening to the politicians on the House floor. They're all such fucking liars, man.
Just have like a pretty good candy. There's like a great candy.
Let's see if I'm wrong. Let's
Aces
see if he
and
does it.
Candace
Let's see.
But we don't need another sort of like pretty good candy.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not gonna be exact about nothing.
What is it?
So candy, you know how many things fall into place of candy? How many candies there are under the guidelines of something called candy? I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous, man. This guy is something. Let's see, bro. Where was that video now? Is this
For his hair and his lengthy rap
say
sheet was noticeably shaken up. Somebody came up to me in the briefing room a few minutes later and said, "Did you hear what the president..."
Let's hear this one. Let's see. Yeah, so I had to change the video because I got lost. But this one here, he's going to be talking about God. So let's see what he's got to say about God, and we'll have a laugh. But I mean, he's talking about candy. The conversation's going on for 3-4 minutes about candy. He never mentions a specific candy. He doesn't. How hard is it to think in your memory bank if you're so smart and say, yeah, lollipops, Hershey bars, or don't even name just say chocolate bars with caramel and peanut butter, whatever. And when we tried this and we tried that, Pop Rocks, you got lots of candies that were invented over the years that were pretty amazing candies and pretty cool. So what, he couldn't invent some rocket pops or some shit like that, or some, he's full of shit. He had no interest in candy. He does this with everything, I noticed. The other day he's talking to Joe Rogan about something they were calling a flamethrower, right? Calling it a flamethrower, but then by the end it turns out, and he supposedly sold 20,000 of them or whatever, all they were was the same machines that we used to be able to go rent at your local hardware rental place, right? They used to have these tool rental shops. They became illegal under Obama. Obama outlawed them, and now they're nowhere. I remember arguing with friends and family over the years about it, saying that all general contractors now, if you don't specify in one business, they fucked us. They fucked the people out in the world, that in the United States, took away more of our rights. Candace took away more of our rights because we used to be able to do that. Let's say you were a general contractor. Let's say you only cut down a few trees per year, right? It might be economical to go ahead and grab a few chainsaws in that sense, but you're not going to want to go buy a bucket truck. You're not going to want to go buy a stump grinder. It's not something you do all the time. So you would go rent that equipment. Well, now they made it illegal. Nobody's allowed to rent that equipment anymore. Even Home Depots and Lowe's, when they first came out, were starting to rent tools and equipment that they now no longer rent. Even circular saws and simple stuff, they don't even rent out anymore. They closed down all the Taylor Rental. That was the name I was looking for. Taylor Rentals got closed down all over the place. There were several competitors of Taylor Rentals. They all got closed down because they said that the human population was too stupid and they kept hurting themselves on the tools. Same thing the way they do and with the U-Haul trucks, right? The U-Haul trucks, the human population is too dumb to be driving a big truck like this. So therefore, we're just going to put them all out of business. If you want your furniture moved, you're going to call a moving company. Getting away from letting anyone do anything for themselves anymore. You have to call in one of these services and pay for them to do it. It really fucking blows. So this douchebag Elon Musk is on here talking about the candy thing. And then earlier he was talking about, like I said, about the other inventions of his. Well, all that blowtorch is just that. It's for heating up pavement and shit like that, or melting ice. And what he did was, according to him, he said he just put a gun extension of a rifle on it, the rifle handle, and he put that onto the thing so that it feels like you have a gun. Well, big fucking deal. They were already doing that anyway. It already felt like you were using a big gun. The only difference is it was tilted down towards the ground when you were holding it. His goes straight out. Big fucking deal, man. That's not an invention. That's not intelligence. And he only sold 20,000 of them, and there was no big deal. And they did not shoot out flames as far as a real government assigned military flamethrower. I mean, those can throw out flames 30, 40, 50 feet and further, right? This thing does not throw out flames that far. You're talking 10 to 15 feet that it's going to throw out a hard flame. So Elon Musk being your guy's big hero, it's pretty typical, man. Pretty fucking typical. Let's see what he's got to say about God
pretty vengeful
before this
in the Old
video
Testament.
ends.
I maybe we can have a chapter past Revelations. But is there a happy ending here? Revelations Part 2, the happy ending?
In the same interview, Musk was challenged as to whether he would accept Jesus as his personal savior. After evading the question for some time, Musk responded by saying that he would not mind being saved if Jesus has the powers to save. It would be quite a spectacle seeing Musk being baptized.
We're wondering if you could do us a quick solid and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Personal Lord and Savior. It's a quick prayer.
But hey, if Jesus is saving people, I mean, I wouldn't stand in his way. You know, like, I'll be sure. I'll be saved. Why not?
Sweet, you did it?
In the interview, Musk revealed that he accepted some of Jesus' teachings on love and forgiveness. However, the genius was quick to criticize how Jesus chose wine over water in a wedding. The interviewers were amazed at Elon's criticism on various biblical to criticize how Jesus chose wine over water in a wedding.
Okay, so here's the video that I'm watching on this other iPad. And they got the guy that's playing the actor of Jesus up on a stump here. This looks like real waters and real background, so that's why I'm gonna go in on it. But look at the imagery. Look at the imagery everywhere around this dude as he's doing this. It's only on an iPad, so you know what am I gonna do? And I'll even add some contrast for you, some green. Okay, let me come back out here. I got my phone plugged in, so hold on a minute. Where's my finger? Right here. See the eye? See the big fucking eye right here? You can see the eyelashes good and everything. See the eye with the pupil in the ball? I don't know where the other one is yet. I just happened to notice it when I looked over. It's going to be right here. There's the other eye that matches that eye. You might be trying to look over here, and there might be one up here that might go with it as well. Let's see. Yep, there's another one. So again, image with an image with an image, from the veil to the ground. This is the way it is. So this is some actor playing the part of Jesus while they tell you some fuck story, lie to you about all kinds of shit. Elon Musk and his buddies. But I'm going to show you the reality of it. So you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, that pupil don't really match that pupil, but the eye does. The eye shape and stuff does. So when I come out here and I go like that and I crop it for you, because as I told you, the true creator does not see math, does not care about math. Math is human construct. So don't be surprised if you see one pupil that size and another pupil that size. Don't be surprised if you see on an angle of any angle, one size eye and another size eye. You know they go together. How do you know? Because you got your own two fucking eyes to look with. There you go. Now there's another, also goes for this one over here, which is halfway off screen. I don't think it's going to go on screen, so I won't fuck around. But I can see it. I see the one here, and then the other one's going to be on the other side of whatever that image is. Let's see if I can get them. There you go. Lots of other images in here. Many, many other images that we can all look at, and everyone can go in on and take a look. These are just some clouds in the background of a scene that they were putting together. So they stand an actor up on the stones. It looks like real water and real clouds to me, though. It doesn't look like soundstage. And I'm pretty good at catching it, so I'm not going to bother looking in it real good, but I'm pretty good at soundstage. I usually identify soundstage right away. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I could spend hours here going in on all these images and show them to you one at a time. I can identify them to what they are: feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. It's like that from the veil to the ground. It's really too bad. People won't wake up. It's a shame. It's a fucking shame. All right in front of us, no one will wake up. And that's what I was saying earlier about the evidence that any of us would need to know that these people are all lying to you, whether it be Brother Sanchez has had plenty of time to come out and look at all this and start talking to his people about it. Never heard a word, not to me, but necessarily, but at least when you go look back at their channels a year or two after you do a series to them, and you realize Holy shit, he's part of it. They're part of the fucking liars. They're, when you say seven, that's how I ended up going from 6 point something billion zombie slaves to 7.8 billion zombie slaves, is because I thought that I was going to find some people who were truly awakening, who would truly go look. And if I got lucky and one of those people happened to be someone with some name power behind them, and then that would have been great, then this would all take off a lot faster. That's why I'm saying nobody can rank this out. They can't rank me out. They can come out and say, talk about the holographic image that we live in, right? They'll say, oh, no, we live in a holographic illusion. They'll tell you that you live in a holographic simulation. They'll tell you all this shit when you know you got mass around you. There's no real true explanation for any of it,
Wedding.
That's the cat.
The interviewers were amazed at Elon's criticism on various biblical accounts. Have a look.
I mean, let's just say, I agree with the principles that Jesus advocated. There's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings. And things like turn the other cheek are very important, because as opposed to an eye for an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. So forgiveness, is important, and treating people as you would wish to be treated. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Very important. And Jesus was obviously very pro alcohol, because one of his miracles was turning water into wine.
So in other words, when you all find out that I'm a fucking liar, don't strike me down. I'm just another liar, just like the rest of you. Don't take it personally. That's what he's telling you.
Yeah, that was like they were having a party. They ran out of wine. Okay. And they're like, let's keep this banner going. Who can solve this problem? We're out of White Claw. It's a friggin' storm's flowed. And Jesus is like, I gotcha. Okay. Water, now wine. I like, party on. So, accurate. Partying with alcohol is literally one of our.
What an immature sounding fucking idiot. I really thought that this guy, Harold Kotz, if you ever come to these videos, you are a fucking genius compared to this guy, Elon Musk. You should be the multi-billionaire running SpaceX, because listening to you, you sound way more intelligent than this guy. Can't even put shit together. Everything's a fucking joke. Oh my God. This is bad. This is really bad, man. This is the symbol of who the majority of Americans think is intelligent and good, and it's just fucking weird, man.
It is interesting how the SpaceX CEO understands rocket science but does not understand the origin of life. The genius explained to Dr. Crystal Dilworth the efforts that he has made to help understand the existential
Doesn't
crisis
understand
during
anything
the late-night chat at
so
Canadian
far.
Consul's residence in Los Angeles.
I've been listening to him for 3 days only, and he doesn't understand candy. He doesn't understand rockets. He doesn't understand the difference between reality and science fiction, and he doesn't understand the difference between what he can see with his own eyes and what he can generate on a computer. He doesn't understand now about turning water into wine and how that works. He doesn't know that you can take grapes and make them into wine. So now you have a liquid alcohol. He doesn't understand about fermenting. Ferment. He doesn't understand shit.
Here's what Elon had to say.
I had this existential crisis when I was a kid, and I tried to figure out what's it all about, and none of the books I read seemed to actually have a good answer. So I read all the religious texts, and I read a bunch of philosophy books,
But he doesn't share any of them with us. Here he goes again with another lie. This is how easy this is to call out, even easier than Joe Rogan now, I'm finding. So he's not mentioning, I read them all. He read all the books, he says, but he can't name off any text of the books. I thought he was a genius. What, his memory bank does not work? He doesn't have any memory of anything that he ever read? And then now he's about to tell us that he read all these other books that went against the religions, and he also doesn't have any facts or nothing to back up for memory on that either. I don't know why, but I just feel this way. Let's see.
they're all quite depressing. Actually, when I read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I thought, okay, this is a pretty good one. Just to sort of try to gain greater enlightenment over time, that seems like a good goal. If you don't really know what the meaning of life is, or even really what the right questions are to ask, but if we can improve our understanding of the universe, then eventually we can figure out what the right question to ask is. It's not meaning of life, it's something.
That said absolutely nothing. Just like we knew it would, right? I'd only known this guy 3 fucking days, and I knew that was just gonna come out of his mouth before I even heard it. You people are embarrassing, man. You're embarrassing yourselves. This is your fucking hero. One of them. One of your top heroes. Holy shit, man. It makes no fucking sense. Nothing you just said makes no fucking sense. And he's using the word universe. So he never went in all of his life, in his 60 years of life, he's never gone out and looked at what it is I'm showing you. He should, if he's such a genius, he should have been the one bringing all this to you all and explaining it to you thoroughly, like I'm trying to do. And not that I'm smart, because remember, you don't have to be to see it. You don't have to have what he's calling intelligence, or what you all out there call intelligence. It's very fucking strange to watch this happening right in front of my eyes like this.
It really doesn't matter whether Elon Musk is a Jew, Christian, Muslim, or irreligious. The thing that matters is that Elon Musk is a good human who is focused on saving humans by making us a multiplanetary species. Elon cares so much for humanity that he would want them to continue living on Mars in case the Earth is destroyed. You may not agree with Musk on religion, but you must admire his selflessness for humanity.
Right. So he puts you on Mars in your imagination while everyone else is doing their job of tearing this Earth apart and breaking it back down. Is that the reset button? Is that the human reset? Is that the way we do it? Heavy metals, minerals, lies, poison, abortion, programming.